I am so excited to talk through some of the kind of unpopular opinions of things that we can utilize for our body and how our body is so in tuned with some of the sensory needs that we have throughout the day. So I had a very funny experience, and when I think back to it, very funny experience in a meeting where we were talking about auditory processing and auditory sensitivity. And we were discussing, auditory sensitivity and how some people, myself included, with my sensory profile of feeling much more overstimulated by loud, sudden, and then that longer duration of higher pitched auditory cues or noises or even louder music. How my profile has kind of shifted into more of that sensory sensitive aspect when it comes to how I process noises throughout the day. We were talking about how sometimes using humming or our own noises to help block out whatever is feeling overwhelming. And in a moment of silence, my autonomic and very subconscious calming tools just happened. And so there was a moment of this break where there was silence and I started humming. And it was this very beautiful, really, when I think about it, this very beautiful opportunity to reflect for my own internal self of, wow, I do really hum a lot. Like, I really utilize humming as a very powerful, not only vagal toning tool, it's helping my nervous system stay more regulated, but also this auditory piece of conceptualizing and thinking about like what was maybe the root cause. There was a lot of like louder noises before that meeting, and so it could have very much been that my system was like, yeah, just hum your favorite song kind of on repeat in your brain, Bethany, and this will help you stay more calm and grounded. And I think about those moments of the response from the group that I was with. And we all busted out in laughter. And I definitely maybe had a little bit of like, gosh, is this embarrassment? Or is this like a deep revelation of like, I just demonstrated what we were just talking about. Like, here we are, this perfect example to think about that each of us have our own subconscious strategies that we utilize to help our nervous system and our sensory systems feel regulated throughout the day. So I just love that story of just kind of those very prime examples of that subconscious response. Our body is so intuitive. And if we deeply stop and we deeply listen, we might start to notice some of those themes. And that's really what I love to help and support with is brainstorming some of those strategies to help bring awareness to the things that you are already innately coming up with as these support tools for grounding, these support tools for releasing energy that's feeling stuck or tense or odd or strange or discomfort. And there already might be movements or different textures or different smells or different sensations that you're already utilizing throughout your day as a way of just releasing excess energy. And so I wanted to review some of the things that I've really focused on bringing a little bit more of this like conscious awareness to in my own body. Because maybe if I was in a situation where we hadn't had just talked about auditory processing and how humming and making our own noises is a tool, I maybe it wouldn't have presented in the way it presented for me to have this like deep reflection of like, oh wow, I like really am utilizing this as a sensory tool. This is my calming tool today. And so in this deep awareness, I think it's just so powerful and so empowering to be like, geez, body, you got this. Body, you know exactly what to do. And bringing awareness to those moments of when your body is already intuitively taking action in those very powerful and supportive tools. Those are moments of celebration. And I love to celebrate with my clients and review those powerful things that have been so, so supportive and very nourishing for maintaining this lovely optimal state of arousal level where you're focused, you're engaged, but also if there are those moments where you're feeling more uncomfortable, how your body is already utilizing some of these power tools, and then what other power tools can we brainstorm to help you come back into this lovely, lovely state of calm, regulated, open to learn, open to listen, and open to hold space. So, a few of my tools, tactile tools, I've recognized lately have been very, very helpful for when I'm feeling a little more charged in my energy. So some things that I will play with a lot is just like a bracelet with different smooth textures. I really enjoy kind of keeping like a rock in my backpack, in my purse, or in my pocket, of just something that I can rub my thumb along. Some people really enjoy having like palm stones, which are a little bit larger rocks, very smooth. Just noticing the divots that your thumb moves through in kind of that lovely repetitive movement. Some other things from a texture perspective are just a lovely recognition of me as the individual sensory seeker OT who's kind of had a little bit of a shift in my own sensory profile to more sensory sensitive. And the clothing that I have been gravitating towards. So I used to, and still to this day, love different textures, but they need to be pretty soft. And I recognize like, fun little sweaters and things like that that have kind of like a differing texture in different areas. I'll notice just kind of like rubbing my thumb along them. I have gravitated to finding some very lovely, bright colored pants that have very cool textures on them. And I just kind of put my hands on my hips and I'll kind of ground using that lovely deep pressure tool, but also noticing that sensation between my palm and what the pants feel like. Some other things I've reflected on from a tactile perspective is the overwhelm of having my hair like touching my neck, especially if I'm exercising and having a little bit of sweat. That sensation really, really bothers me. So I always come prepared and feel empowered with having a hair tie or a hair clip. Some other things that I consider is if I've had a really what felt like maybe very overstimulating day based off of where I was, who I was engaging with, and how my baseline was to block and kind of protect my energy levels. I think about how different things, even just pulling up my hair, can be a very helpful tool. Checking into my temperature. Is there a factor with I'm too hot or I'm too cold? And making sure layers and having access to different layers, like in my car, can be very, very helpful to just take that, like, hang on, how am I feeling? Am I angry or am I just really, really warm? And is it, like that I'm feeling this really intense feeling, or is it this like tightness in my throat because I need a little bit more water? And what might be more helpful with the liquid temperature? Is it warm? Is it cold? I definitely gravitate a little bit more, I think, based off of the season, and based off of body temperature. What liquid temperature is more regulating for me? But I would say kind of that warm texture for me lately, excuse me, that warm temperature lately for me has been a little bit more of a power tool for me. So those are just kind of some insights on our subconscious intuitive knowing of just initiating those tools and standing in this deep, fierce authenticity of not worrying about what others are thinking. And that very beautiful, beautiful moment for me to just love me. I stood in deep truth and this beautiful, fierce authenticity that had laughter surrounding it versus, and maybe in the past, I would have interpreted that as embarrassment or shame. And just to have these lovely moments to celebrate this deep, intuitive feedback of my body just knowing what to do. And if we bring this powerful awareness to the tools that our body is already recruiting can be very, very powerful. So I am here to help you tap in and tune in to these very, very intuitive skills that your body is already utilizing, and to maybe help you more with developing those power tools to where you can stay regulated and confident and calm and energized throughout your body, throughout your day.